I've actually figured out, finally, after all of these years, how to not get razor bumps. How often should you be having sex with your partner? Someone actually did ask a question about orgasms and how to know when you have orgasmed. Do you have a timeline for when you'd like to have children? Any thoughts on your biological clock? Self-love is just as important as every other kind. Greetings, internet. Welcome back to my channel. I'm very glad you guys are here because we are going to get deep today. And I mean that in the sense that I'm going to tackle some subjects that I've never talked about on the internet before, or if I have, I've really scraped the surface and I'm now feeling bold. I'm feeling brave. I'm feeling, not that I really necessarily need to feel that way to talk about very normal things, but I've kind of abandoned the idea that, you know, I shouldn't speak on these things because I'm not an expert. Like, I am going to speak from experience about subjects that many of us deal with and might be ashamed of or nervous about, or are just wondering, like, am I the only person that this happens to, as it pertains to all things feminine, okay? So like feminine hygiene, hair, what else? Orgasms, sex, intimacy. This video is just to offer hopefully some support and just, you know, a listening ear and some big sister advice, because I'm 28 now and I know a lot more than I did when I posted my first video about sex on the internet, which I think was my sophomore year of college, and I've learned a lot. And that's not the only subject we'll be talking about, by the way. It's going to be all sorts of things, and again, personal experiences. So if you don't relate to this, that's fine, but I just want to share. Okay, girl talk video, let's go. First and foremost, I do want to thank today's sponsor, Parade. And guys, obsessed is an understatement. I love Parade for all of my bralette and underwear needs. And here's why. A little personal anecdote, a little personal story about underwear. So for a while, I was kind of uncomfortable with my changing body. I was really insecure about going up in size on my underwear for some reason. I'd go shopping for underwear with my friends and I would be comparing myself endlessly to them. Looking back, like, I was in pain, literally. I was uncomfortable wearing things that didn't fit me, wearing styles I didn't even like. All these years later, I have found peace in my size and actually wearing underwear that fits me. Like, that is my true size. In the spirit of that, I've been upgrading my underwear drawer to reflect my actual size and wearing styles that are actually comfortable for me and my body. We're all different, but if you, like me, value comfort in your undergarments, Parade is for you. Parade champions comfort. They are size inclusive. They go up to 5XL in sizes. I love all their colors too and their patterns. Like for the bralettes, this is my favorite style and I'm just obsessed. Like, look how darn cute that is. This one has, looks like little drinks and citrus. And then the one I'm wearing, I'm actually wearing one as we speak, has this blue and white pattern. So yeah, I'm gonna link my favorite styles down below. I'm also wearing the underwear as we speak. These are so stretchy and comfortable. I love the mesh in the front. I actually wore this, not this exact pair, to the wedding I went to last weekend, and no lines and very comfortable. And I want to thank Parade for sponsoring such a meaningful video. Also, I have a code for you guys. You can get 50% off with my code, which I'll have huge on the screen. It is time to upgrade our underwear drawers to have underwear and intimates that are actually comfortable and that actually fit us. And Parade is a great place to go for that. I'm gonna button myself up and continue with the video. So the first question I actually got a lot, and it's about getting razor bumps down there in the Brazilian bikini area, and whether or not I wax, shave, or rely on laser hair removal for that. I just want to say, this is genuinely how I feel. Like, I think if someone, either another girl that sees you in a bikini, or a guy that sees you in a bikini, or someone that, like a partner that sees you naked, or whoever, cares that you have razor bumps, like, we don't care about them, okay? Let's just make that clear. So no matter your preference, if you decide to have hair down there or not, if you are wanting to have no razor bumps, like if you're wanting to have it be smooth, I've actually figured out, finally, after all of these years, how to not get razor bumps, and it's laser hair removal. Honestly, laser hair removal has changed my life, and I'm not even just saying that. I am a hairy person, okay? I'm Italian. I get hair absolutely everywhere that you can get hair. Like, I really mean that. Like, I get hair on my face, on my chin, on my neck, on my, like, everywhere is hair. And in some places I am fully fine with it and I'm like comfortable with it, but on my arms, I actually shave my arms. I shave my legs, and now I do laser hair removal on my underarms and my Brazilian, like full Brazilian area. And I have to say, if you can afford it, I mean, I know it's pricey, laser hair removal is such a relief. Laser, it's very quick and it works so well. Like I've gone, how many sessions? I do Laseraway. They have a location in the city, or a bunch of locations, and I've done 4 sessions now on my underarms and my Brazilian, and I hardly have any hair. Like it just really does not grow back very much. And after 6 or 7 or 8, how many sessions? 8 sessions I think is my total number I'm doing. I gotta check. By next summer, I apparently will not have any hair growth in the areas where I'm getting laser, and I'll just get touch-ups like every year, like 1 touch-up a year or something like that, supposedly. I mean, granted, I'll let you guys know my full review after my 8 sessions and after like a year. It's just such a relief for me to not worry about like dark underarms in photos and stuff, and it's just a personal insecurity. Again, not for everybody, but that's how I feel, and I have to say it has helped my confidence so much. And honestly, I'm lazy and I hate shaving my bikini line every day on vacation, and it's painful to then like shave over bumps from the previous day. Like laser is amazing, so I highly recommend that. But that being said, hair is so normal, and this is coming from a hairy girl who has come to terms with this. Like my whole life was made fun of for my body hair. I had a full-on unibrow for 12 years of my life. Like I'm right there with you if you were also a hairy girl. I do think shaving my arms has really helped my confidence as well, even though there have been times where I've regretted it and I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I have found peace with it, okay? Like every past version of myself was doing what she could for herself in the time, like doing what was right at the time for her. And they've all culminated into who I am today, and I'm proud of all the versions of myself. So anyway, that's where I stand on that. Laser hair removal, that is the short answer to that question. And I know I did a long answer, but again, this is going to be, like, strap in, guys. This is going to be a long video. I can already feel it. How often should you be having sex with your partner? You know, I'm 28 years old. I've been sexually active for probably, I don't know, 10 years now. I lost my virginity, I think, at age 18. I'd have to go back and, like, really think. I think I was 18. So I've been having sex for 10 years now. And I just kind of want to do a full deep dive on sex, okay? So just let me run with this. I'm going to answer the question, like, eventually, but let me run with this. Up until after college, like my first year after college, yeah, where was I living? I kind of track in my mind like where I was living. Hell's Kitchen. I was living in Hell's Kitchen. My first year after college was when I bought my first vibrator. My friends and I all went to this like sex shop, and my one friend that's much more like adventurous with things was like, oh, you don't have a vibrator? You need to get one. Here's one I like. And like pretty much was like, you're buying this. And I'm so glad she did, because in college, I genuinely thought that I had orgasmed. Like I genuinely thought that I enjoyed sex and like that I orgasmed. You don't have to orgasm to enjoy sex. But then I discovered the vibrator. Then I realized, I came to the realization that in college, in actuality, I had never orgasmed. I had never orgasmed, which is, I'm just stating this as a fact. Like I just didn't know. I didn't know what it felt like to orgasm. I didn't know, no one had really taught me that aspect. Someone actually did ask a question about orgasms and how to know when you have orgasmed. Today, I kind of equate it to a feeling like you're about to sneeze, like you really have to sneeze, and it's like not coming, or it's like kind of taking a minute, and then you like look at the light and then it just comes. Like you feel relief, and it's just like this whole full body like relief experience, or like kind of euphoria. And right before, it kind of feels also like you're about, like you have to pee. Like I don't know if I'm describing this right. If someone in the comments wants to explain it better, but it just feels like this full body just like rush and like relief, and it's like this built up excitement. It's just like whoosh, like I feel good, that sort of thing. And I remember experiencing that for the first time and being like, oh my god, like this, okay, like an awakening. So when was that? That was 2018. So it's been like 6 years since then. Wait, like 5-ish years? I had to count on my fingers. It's only really been in the past 5 years that I've been able to kind of slowly over time and over different partners figure out what I like and how I like it. I still feel like I'm learning, and I'm not sure if I'll ever be done learning, like, or just figuring out like things about sex that like, and it's just crazy because I feel like no one talks about it. Like people think, oh, like, okay, you're this age and you're with a partner and you've been with him for this many years, or you've been with partners or whatever the heck, and you're just like, oh, they're definitely an expert and I'm not. But I think that that might be wrong. Like I personally feel that way. But then I remind myself, I'm like, no, we're constantly learning. I've definitely had mental blocks when it comes to things like that for a long time. Like I'm having like a memory brain blast right now. Back in middle school or whenever I got my period, I actually forget when I got my period, but I started out with pads, which many people do. And then I was ready to graduate to tampons. And it was the most mortifying few months of my life because I could not put a tampon in. Like my body was rejecting it. And I thought that I had a medical condition. There are medical conditions that prevent that from happening. And I went to the gynecologist. It was the most traumatic thing of my life. My mom held my hand. She was such a great shoulder to cry on for this situation because I felt so broken. And all my friends at school were like, it was kind of cool to get your period, you know? And like people were like, oh, do you need a tampon? And I'm like, no, I'm using pads. And like I felt less than because of that. And I don't know, everything surrounding like vaginal health, and like I've always just had like this weird feeling of like I'm inexperienced, I'm broken, something's wrong. And honestly, like I really mean this, like it's taken time of getting to know myself. Long story short, with the tampon thing, I eventually figured it out. It was literally a mental block. Like I could not, my body would not allow me. It was all a brain thing. Like I just tried and tried, but like tried to calm myself down and like remind myself. I don't even know, it just took time. Like I don't have like one single fix or thing that I did. It just over time, and eventually poof, one day I could just do it. But yeah, I think that kind of kicked things off with me feeling insecure about my body, and then stumbling into having sex. And it wasn't like I lost my virginity. Sorry, the camera stopped recording. But to define my sexual experience in college, it was kind of like a string of one-night stands and like flings and things here and there. To be honest, like that's how it was for me. And after college, coming to the city, I kind of mellowed out and started to learn what I wanted. And not to say people that have one-night stands don't have self-worth. I have even done it post-grad, but just I started to figure out, you know, who I am, what I want, how I want to feel, just getting to know myself. And it takes trial and error to do that, I think. Did I have something in my nose that entire time? Please tell me I didn't. Anyway, this is a very deep video, so I guess it's fine if it'd be funny actually. But okay, so back to just sex in general. I felt really inexperienced for a long time, and I felt really insecure about my body and about what I want, and I had a really hard time asking for what I want, or like instructing, kind of telling a partner like this is what I want, or like I was insecure about like the things that I liked and thought that I was weird, and like I don't even know, like just a string of insecurities. And not to be like cliche and like silly, but meeting my boyfriend was such a comfort. Like him, and I don't want to like go into detail about private matters, but he has made me feel so secure with my body like no one has ever. Like, oh my, am I gonna get emotional? No. Like I've actually felt very seen and understood and listened to. And like he constantly tells me he like thinks that my body is beautiful, and like no one has ever done that. And I just kind of like, I mean, sex is so different for everybody, and like what you want to get out of it, what kind, like, you know, whether it's casual or not. And I don't want to shame anyone in the process of just telling my truth. Part of me wishes that myself, like a few years ago when I like discovered the vibrator, could know that someday like I would be having sex where I feel confident and feel listened to, and it doesn't feel like a chore or something where I feel like I am not good enough. So that is what I want to say. And if anyone listening feels that way about sex, like just hang in there, get to know your body. Like getting a vibrator has, you know, you don't have to use a vibrator necessarily. Like there's many, you just figuring out your own body on your own without any tools has just changed the game. Like I think everything started to kind of figure itself out. Like I learned so much at a quicker rate once I actually like tried it on my own. Self-love is just as important as every other kind. And so yeah, I guess that's like what I would suggest, but I don't even know how I got here, because the original question was like, how many times a week is it normal to have sex with your partner? Which that's such a BS question. Like, not the person that asked it. Like, everyone asks this question. Like, you know, it comes up when I'm just hanging with my friends, okay? And we talk about things like this and like what's normal, what's not. Anyone that's like, oh, if you don't have sex with your partner at least like 4 times a week, like you're crazy, or like you're destined for failure. I think that this might be a hot take, but I think there are ways to be intimate with your partner that don't involve sex, like every day, you know? It's like there's other ways to be intimate, like cuddling and making out, or just like cooking together. I don't know. There's ways that like you can be intimate in other ways than just sex. I think that's kind of all I want to say on the matter, because like I don't even want to like put a number and be like, make anyone feel good or bad. Like I just think this question is something that doesn't really need an answer, because it's literally up to you as a couple and what makes sense. And as long as you feel like your needs are being met and you're communicating like on both sides, that's it. Like a number, like that's ridiculous. I don't know. I believe me, I have thought about this. I've literally thought like, oh, am I doing enough, or is he doing enough, or like whatever. I refuse to even like give any more airtime or thought to the idea that you need to be having sex with someone, like your partner, X times a week to be healthy. Like, I don't know. I think making out like every day you see them kissing, like I think that is like a beautiful form of intimacy that I like need. Like I really do. I love making out. Like that is my favorite thing. But sometimes we just make out and then we watch a show, and like that's intimacy to me, you know? It's like, anyway. All right, what did I just cover? I covered so many questions in that like one long ramble about sex. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to touch on with sex. I mean, the number one tip I have, I guess, besides getting a vibrator or trying it on yourself, like you can literally look up tutorials. And honestly, like my Google search history, in 2018 was probably like how to touch yourself, like literally. And I figured it out, and here we are. Now I actually know what I like, and it's liberating to know, and also liberating to feel comfortable and safe with a partner who listens to me. So that's like number one. Number two is to communicate. Like, you can't have good sex if you're not speaking, like at all, or directing. If you feel awkward telling him like, oh, do this, just literally grab his hand and put it there and do it with his hand and show him, because guys feel uncomfortable stuff too, like, or not uncomfortable, just like awkward. They don't know what to do. And honestly, even if it's like a one-night stand or like something where you're not gonna date this person, like you're helping out the next girl in line, okay? By telling this man like what you like, it's potentially, I mean, granted everyone likes different things, but just think about the other girls that he, you know, think about down the line, I guess. I don't know if that even makes sense. Okay. Let's stay in the nether regions. Let's talk about vaginal infections. Okay, have you ever had one? Yes, I've had bacterial vaginosis. I think that's the legit name for it, BV. This, I don't even know when the last time I had it was, because I've been using this stuff. It's from Love Wellness, Lo Bosworth's brand. It's called The Killer, boric acid. I mean, there's other iterations of it, but if I feel like I've either sat in my workout clothes, like sweaty workout clothes for a long time, and I feel like that's usually what triggers it for me, like sweaty workout clothes or bathing suits. If I'm at the beach and I'm sitting around in a wet bathing suit, like I kind of do my due diligence. Is that it? I'll pop in one of those little pills, The Killer. Again, not a doctor, but talk to your gyno. And I've also had an irregular pap smear before, and it turned out okay, but like nothing life-threatening or nothing terrible. But I don't think people really talk about that, like irregular paps, because obviously you'd hope that you'd have a regular one, but when you get an irregular one, they give you a call, and I like panicked when I got my call, thought that something was like severely wrong with me, went in, and it turns out like there was just like something a little bit questionable, and they tested it. It turns out it's good. It's like I don't have anything serious. I feel like people never talk about irregular paps. A lot of times it's not cause for major alarm. You just need to make sure you're regularly going into the gynecologist as often as they recommend per your needs, and that's what we gotta do. Anyway, okay, I think I answered that well. I'm trying not to say the wrong thing, but just being super honest about my experiences, so I hope that this is helping. This question's interesting. So, how would you feel confident naked when you don't look like Kendall Jenner? Okay, I struggle with this still. My insecurity with my body is something that I feel like I will be working on for a long time, because it really ebbs and flows. Like, there's days where I'm like confident and days when I'm not, and I think that's just life, and it does help to talk about it because it makes me feel less lonely in my struggle. Feeling confident while naked. I mean, I luckily have a very supportive partner who, you know, hypes me up, makes me feel good, and that is helpful, but that still doesn't mean that like my insecurity is completely gone. I most recently, like being on this girls trip for the wedding, like I felt insecure being naked in front of my girlfriends. And I was having a particularly insecure weekend. I wore this one dress to the welcome dinner at the wedding, and it kind of clung to my stomach in a certain way. And so then after that, I caught sight of myself. This always happens. Like, I need to just, I don't know. Life was simpler before mirrors and reflective surfaces, okay? Just kidding. But yeah, the next day I saw the photos, I kind of felt a little insecure. And I was like changing in front of my friends, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna hide. Like, I'm like, these girls have seen every inch of me, like, you know, because we've lived together in the sorority house and just in various different living situations where my friends have seen me naked or in underwear, or like full, you know, just like changing, not like hanging out, just changing, okay? And I don't know what, it really ebbs and flows. Like, I was like really insecure on this one day, but then like today I'd be fine. Like, I feel secure today. I'm like in a good mood. I don't know. I think it really just ebbs and flows for me. And I have bad body days and good body days, and all of them, like combined, like the bad days and the good days, I am aware, like I know my worth. Like I do, okay, I do. I get insecure in a lot of different realms, like, you know, my work and just in my coolness factor and my body. But even on those bad days, like I do sit with myself and I'm proud of who I am and how I love and how I create, and like all of the things that I know that I'm good at and that add value and that make me feel good. Like, I recognize all of those things, but I also recognize that I have bad days sometimes. And I'm allowed to have it all, I think. And there's no one easy fix to changing, like, you know, snap, like I'm confident every day in my body. Like that movie, what was that movie? I Feel Pretty? Amy Schumer, different Amy. Anyway. Yeah, like that movie where she like conks her head on the SoulCycle bike and then like thinks she's beautiful, stunning, perfect every day. Like I don't live in that world. I don't. And I don't know if maybe people do. I don't know if maybe people do, where every single day they feel like, oh, I'm confident. I feel like there's just some days that you're not feeling it. And that's fine. You're gonna have good days and bad days. Like, I think what's helped me is just finding peace with it. And knowing that I'm not perfect and I'm not going to have a perfect attitude all the time, like a perfect level of confidence all the time. And that's really helped me. Like, I acknowledge my bad days. I'm like, oh, I'm having a bad body image day. But I know it's not gonna last forever. And I know that it's nothing I'm doing wrong. And I know that I'm not needing to fix it, you know? Like, I'm not needing to, like, oh, I'm having a bad body image day, so I'm gonna punish myself tomorrow and only eat leaves. Like, I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm just gonna know, I'm gonna remind myself that it passes. Like, what are the things that you tell your friends? Like, if your friend came to you and was like, I'm feeling insecure in this bikini, what would you tell them? How would you make them feel good as they acknowledge how they feel? Like, they are acknowledging their feelings, they're saying their feelings. You can't tell them they're not feeling that way, you know? But you can tell them how you feel about the scenario and how you personally do not agree with them. You're like, oh, you can say a number of different things, like whatever you would do to comfort a friend, just a number of different things that you can do to hype up a friend that is kind of in that funk, you know? Do the same thing to yourself. Like, focus on the positives. That's kind of what I do on a given day where I feel really insecure. Maybe I'm wearing an outfit and I'm going to an event or something for work. I remind myself, like, okay, maybe I'm not feeling like $1 million in this outfit, but you know, focus on the fact that I get to go to this amazing opportunity, this amazing event or something. Like, I get to go hang out with my friends, I get to go do this. Like, I love the mindset of like, I get to, not I have to. That's like a whole separate thought, but I think it's good to focus on the positives and like the things that are going really well in your life, not the things that maybe make you feel insecure. And, you know, I don't know if that was a really good answer or if that's like wise. Definitely talk to a therapist if these feelings persist and you really need a licensed taught person to give you guidance. But that's personally how I feel. Like, it just ebbs and flows. It really does. Like, every day is not the same. I acknowledge, I find peace in the fact that I have good days and bad days. And that's not just in body image. Like, there's days where I'm like really down on myself and my career and my skills, and then really like proud of myself. And sometimes, going back to like honestly the beginning of the video, that means buying clothes that actually fit you, like not squeezing into the small size just because you're insecure about what it says on the label, like wearing the size that actually fits you and that you feel comfortable in, wearing styles of clothing that you actually feel comfortable in, even if it's not what all the top celebrities are wearing. Like, there's so many styles out there that I'm like, I love how that looks on her. I know personally I would feel uncomfortable in that, so why would I force myself to wear that, you know? Like, it's not even like, it's not like I can't wear it, like I could, and it doesn't matter if my body doesn't look like hers, but I personally am more comfortable in certain styles, and I'm not afraid to just be comfortable. Like, it's not like a surrender. It's finding peace and getting to know yourself, learning what makes you feel good, you know? And I think that's the power. I think that's the moral of this video. It's like, spend the time to get to know yourself. Do the work on yourself to figure out what you actually like, what style of X, Y, and Z you are, like really, truly, like figure it out. And it might take some time, it might be trial and error, but I think life is all about just getting to know yourself more and more every day and doing whatever you can to just learn more about yourself and like what you actually need, what fills you up, and trying to live as authentically to that. I don't know, with this video I just wanted to help. Like, I know what it feels like to feel like you're behind or you're kind of living in the dark, like you don't know what's true, what's false. You're obsessively Googling things, thinking something's wrong with you. Like, I know how it feels. I've been there. And so with this video I really just wanted to, I don't know, just kind of talk about some things that were embarrassing to me that now I've found peace with and that I'm still working on, but that I think are important to share, because a lot of this stuff has become so taboo, and that's harmful, I think, because if we're not talking about things that make people feel like they're alone, like they're just going to feel even more alone for years and years to come. Like, generations to come are going to feel the same crushing loneliness or, you know, being weird when they're not. And I'd like to just stop that cycle if I can, even in a small way, with this video. Ooh, okay, I guess we'll do one parting question. Is that okay? Am I talking too much? Like, tell me if I'm talking too much. Okay, the last question. Do you have a timeline for when you'd like to have children? Any thoughts on your biological clock? I don't think about it every day, but I do think about it. You know, I've seen a lot of people that I know freezing their eggs. I'm 28, and I've seen some girls that I know that are turning 30, 31, they're freezing their eggs because they don't want to feel rushed and they haven't found their partner, or they, you know, just a number of different reasons, okay? Like, it's not one reason, it's many different reasons for different people. And I respect that. I think that's amazing. I would love the opportunity to potentially do that someday, because I don't want to feel rushed or pressured into having kids by a certain age. Genuinely, like in my soul, like that, I cannot wait to be a mother. Like, I want to be a mother. I'm just doing the next best thing in the moment. It's like, you know, making choices for myself in my life as I decide that they're right. But I just have dreamt about being a mom my entire life. Like, I want to have kids, I want to be a mother, I want to care for them, I want to support them and like see them grow, and I want kids, like I do. So God willing, I hope to have a bunch, maybe 2, maybe 3, I don't know. Something tells me I'm gonna be a boy mom. I don't know what tells me that. Do I give off boy mom energy? Because I think I do. Like, let me know. But yeah, I do want kids, and I like can't wait to experience that part of my life. But again, not rushing anything. Like, I'm just taking it day by day. Can we all chill? And by we all, I mean me. Like, can I chill? Like, I need to chill. Anyway, this is my truth, guys. I feel like I chugged a bottle of wine before this video. I actually am like completely sober, but I just feel like I'm hyped up all over the place, spewing all of my truths. But again, I want to help even just one person feel a little bit less alone in their situation and give all the advice that I can, or just the things that I wish that I had known. So anyway, guys, that is my video. Hope you all enjoyed. Reminder to shop Parade underwear. Check them out. Like, actually, I love these ones too. Like these, I don't think I showed these earlier, but these are the high waist lace. Like, look how gorgeous that is. It is good coverage. Look at that. Anyway, I'm gonna have my Parade code linked down below and all the links, so definitely check that out. And thank you guys so much for watching and for listening to me and for having patience and grace with me as I share all of these things that are not particularly easy to talk about but are important. So thank you guys, and I'll see you all in my next vlog.